about, getting anything done for the American people. They're sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny. Look, the Democrats are the ones who kept us up for 26 hours. That's the irony of that. They offered 300 plus amendments. They tried to fight us every step of the way. In the end, we just dealt with it. We went with it, and we got our bill done.
Yeah.
We've been working on this bill for months.
I just feel like people are so tired of politics. I mean, just get the work done for the American people. And yet, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, he's coming up with new words for the bill, and he's basically putting it in your face. Here he is yesterday. Watch this.
The one big ugly bill will hurt the American people, take away health care, strip away nutritional assistance from everyday Americans, literally rip food out of the mouths of children, seniors, and veterans. Republicans own anything that happens because they've chosen to go down this road of reconciliation to cut Democrats out of the legislative process.
Is that what's happening? You're ripping food out of children's mouths?
No. He said it's literally what we're doing. No, it's literally not what we're doing. He's lying on
Wow.
every part of that. So what the Democrats did throughout that entire process was bring in activists. They paid these poor people in wheelchairs, disabled people. They paid for their trip to D.C. They had sick kids come in. They said, "This is who you're taking Medicaid away from." And I encourage people to go to my Instagram. We have a lot of videos up where I rebutted all of their claims. I mean, I can rebut them on your show. I just don't think we have the time because it's complicated and it's detailed. But they're wrong about all of this. We're not taking Medicaid away from any of those people. The idea is to preserve the program for those people exactly, because right now you have able-bodied working adults on it. Right now you have millions of people who don't even know that they're enrolled in 2 states. They're not trying to defraud the system.
Right.
It's just that the system doesn't check up on them enough, right? You need to perfect your enrollments. I mean, because there's people who shouldn't even be on it, who aren't eligible but are still on. They don't know it. And even though they don't use it, that costs the government something. So there's actually a lot we can do without ripping any food from anyone or ripping away people's Medicaid. They're just lying. And in fact, we should be criticized for not going far enough, because you've got to save these programs for the people that they're intended for. You have to, and you got to put them on a sustainable glide path. So they just lied. I mean, the person we're taking it away from is the able-bodied adult with no children who refuses to work. By the way, if they would just get a job, they could keep their Medicaid. Like that's what I introduced that work requirements bill with Senator Kennedy earlier this year. That's the big part that's in this bill, and it only applies to the expansion population, by the way. So that's not the poor. So that's the expansion population. Another bill I got in there, which I'm super happy about, is we're removing federal funding, all of it, Medicaid funding, CHIP funding, ACA funding. We're going to stop that funding to any transgender procedures on minors. It's a big one.
Wow, that is a big one. Well, you've gotten a lot through. And by the way, that's what Dr. Oz told us about the state thing, that, people move. They may apply for Medicare or Medicaid when they're living in New Jersey, and then they move to California, whatever, and then they apply for it again, and then they're on both. And so there's all that waste that could be cut and that you're looking at, which is good. But I want to get your take on the border. You've been to the border so many times, and the president's crackdown is still yielding results. We had 2 Sinaloa cartel leaders charged with narco-terrorism yesterday. The FBI and the DOJ seizing 1.65 tons of fentanyl. They were trying to traffic the fentanyl into America. And the administration has designated the cartel as a foreign terrorist organization back in February. It's happening as apprehensions at the southern border plunge more than 90% in the month of April from a year ago. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan pled not guilty to the charges that she helped aid an illegal helped him hide from ICE in her own courtroom, Congressman. Give us a status check on all of this.
Look, I think we have a lot to look forward to. We still have a lot of work to do. I think what's interesting about that particular story they put out, those arrests, is that we're accomplishing right now is success in getting these cartel members to turn on one another. Not only does that help us catch more of them, but it creates massive paranoia and dysfunction within their organizations, and we're seeing that in real time. Now, other cartel factions start to take advantage of that. They start to move in. It becomes sort of a war. But in the end, it's good for what our purpose is, which is creating that dysfunction within their organizations and also creating dysfunction with fentanyl production, because that's ultimately what's killing Americans. Now, I've got a plan. We call it the North America Security Assistance Initiative. It's an entire strategy. We've been working on it for years. I lead the cartel task force within the Intelligence Committee. We've got a lot of opportunity here because of the Trump administration actually focusing on this and telling their agencies to truly focus on this. That's the big change. But the second change is that the Mexicans are willing to work with us. So there's I think, some great work ahead on this.
Well, you know what the FBI director, Kash Patel, told me yesterday. I've got an exclusive with him for Sunday Morning Futures. He told me that Canada needs to step up. So I mean, you look at the crossings at the northern border. He said Mexico has done a lot. That's great. But Canada needs to step up. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's right. And the cartels and the drug trade does make its way to Canada because they know that's a much easier border crossing. And Canada promised to step up after President Trump threatened them with tariffs, but they need to do more. That's why I call my plan the North America Security Assistance Initiative, because I think Canada has to be integrated into that and helping us aid Mexico. In the end, it is about resourcing Mexico so that they can take on what is a insurgency. You are fighting a terrorist insurgency inside Mexico.
Wow.
We have to look at it that way, and we have to scale it up to that extent. The Mexicans do not have the resources right now to fight it, but they actually do have the will. Contrary to popular belief, you got a new president down there. You got a new head of security. They're going out every night. They barely missed one of their biggest targets just the other night. They do that with our help. Yeah. They barely missed him because he went through an underground tunnel out of his bathroom. Goes 3 blocks away. They have very sophisticated escape routes, but we're getting them.
That's
and they're scared. They're on the run. Yeah.
And I wonder if they're running Mexico. I know there's a new president, but the influence of the cartel is pretty huge. Before you go, Congressman, real quick, we got to jump. What are the odds you get this reconciliation bill out by Memorial Day? What are the odds?
In the House, I'd like to think pretty good. People like to hold out because they want one last thing. I think we're going to be successful. I think we've done a really good job coming together and getting this done.
All right, good odds. All right. Thank you so much, Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Good to see you, sir.